That's a crazy thought, right? And now we're in a reality where, you know, being totally honest, whoever loses this game probably is done. Probably isn't going to Montpellier, Harry. So the pressure is on for these guys, especially big with a new roster and lots to prove here with Dennis being added recently. He had a couple of good maps last night, but it was not enough for Big to pick up the win, falling short. Fast into this one, it's going to be big on the T side of Dust2. I think one thing that we have to remember is, as well, is, you know, as said, this is a map Big are certainly going to be comfortable on, but in terms of actual online, on-LAN and online performance when it comes to officials, they've only won this map twice out of the last 9 times they've played it. That's a little worrying, so let's keep that in mind. But up towards Cat they will go, Simple. He had a rough one yesterday, looking to try and turn things around, and already, oh, what? He just got railed. Poor guy.
Yeah, he was not ready for that. I mean, already Simple getting dropped. Zeus is tagged up as well. Big, they have gotten down through short, and it will be Dennis to find yet another flamey. Oh, he's going to tap down too. And he has actually made this round doable now. For Na'Vi, Edward arriving on the ramp. Tizian's gone, and it's only Xantares remaining. A 1v3 required here from the Turkish player, and as he peeks wide, he's tagged up. They're not on the bomb, so he's playing for the time, but with 3 players still up, Flamey able to delete him, and that will be Na'Vi finding the pistol round. Promising start from Flamey.
Yeah, it looked like a promising start from Big as well. They had a 5-on-3 straight off the bat, and Na'Vi still get back in with the USPs on the retake. Nice to see a smile on Simple's face there, despite getting domed up on Catwalk. I recall yesterday when he was having a rough performance, we did see him, and he did look very, you know, angry. Not angry at his team, but more so angry at himself. He was one of the bottom performers for Na'Vi, and that's not what we expected coming into that game. Was getting out-orbed by Yugi a fair bit of the time, especially on overpass. But those Danes are going to be coming up later for the Derby. Which one is it? I still don't know.
I honestly don't know either.
I
just change it all the
Yeah,
time. I'll just say one or the other.
Yeah.
I don't know. We used to have when I was a kid, we used to have a donkey derby. It was like a fair. That's what it was called. I don't know. Does that help?
No, not really, because these aren't donkeys. These are Danes. But right now, we are just on the German and CIS side of things, and it's going very well for that of Na'Vi. Clean round so far. Just got B left. He's got a good bit of utility, but I don't think he's going to be able to leave the spawn or even get it out of his hands. 1 kill from to Zeus, and the trade is there, so not too much of a worry. And now Big coming in with a buy in that 3rd round. That bomb plant in the previous, or in the pistol rather, to set them up for these rifles in number 3. Big not opting to get ahead of themselves for going for a couple of hero AKs in the previous one. That's something that, you know, you would expect to see from the likes of Na'Vi on the T side without a doubt, but playing a little more reserved, looking to play their own game and hit their shots, Harry. And let's see if they can do that when they go into the first gun round.
Oh, and Big, they actually had a pretty good spawn for the B rush. They've actually headed over here with 4 players initially. They will be held back by that Molotov that gets thrown in, and there's 2 players on the other side. They go pushing on in on the back of these flashbangs, and Edward lining up 2 now. Simple holding close. Not aware that this man's here yet are Big. They might not anticipate a 2nd player being so close by. Electronic as well could actually draw a lot of the attention away from Simple, but this shot's got B. Head on a swivel. Tabson trading back, and Big, they win the round. Tabson with 3. Seemingly from nowhere. Gumpy's laughing.
I don't blame him after that kill.
That is unreasonable that Big win that round. All the rotations were there. Na'Vi, they effectively had, you know, 4 players outside of that bomb site. Simple was inside. Edward found a double kill as they tried to get in. That is not a round that it felt like Na'Vi should have thrown away, but fantastic stuff from Tabson here. He goes above and beyond, and a tactical pause already called in. I cannot say I blame whoever, which it's Big to call it in.
Yeah, you could see they're all laughing and having a joke, and the Tabson was like, okay guys, we gotta calm down, let's chill out. We've still got guns in the future for Na'Vi. And yeah, I think that's definitely Na'Vi, you know, I want to say getting ahead of themselves, but not to put like a negative connotation on it. They try and just dive into B without setting up for the retake. I don't blame them for not setting up for the retake. As you said, that was Edward getting 2 kills straight away. It was a 5-on-3. Na'Vi had B locked down. And so fair enough that they tried to trade their way back into the bomb site, pushing through smokes and Molotovs. But Tabson just too good with that Krieg. 3 kills from him on the B bomb site. Big pick up their 1st round. Na'Vi will force, and Simple's on the AWP.
And already Zeus actually getting into the lower tunnels. Dennis not ready for that. Flamey even re-peeking over here towards short. Damage getting done. Somewhat amazed that Zeus was able to get down into lower tunnels with tabseN, keeping an eye on mid on that scout. Edward's going to make quick work of Tizian.
I wouldn't call that quick.
But he's actually made up for it here very, very nicely. It's only got B left, and while we've seen some heroics with this Krieg, this does not look like a round in which that should be possible. Zeus on the flank will solidify it, and Na'Vi, they're certainly looking in higher spirits today than they were just yesterday.
And if we get, Simple coming back into form and performing as he always does near that top of the board, and plus Zeus, who was just unreal yesterday, then this is going to be a terrifying team to come up against. Electronic was the man we looked to for Na'Vi, at least yesterday, right? But I'm excited to see who's going to be the players stepping up for this best-of-3 series. Na'Vi sitting in the lead right now, 3-1, pistols for Big again, no util. This time they will get tunnels control. Na'Vi aren't getting aggressive. They set up on long, put Zeus on the corner with assistance from Electronic, but yeah, you can just tell by the way that Na'Vi are playing this. They want those early gunfights, especially on these anti-ecos. Zeus is trying to push up the long doors. Simple takes down, taps in middle, almost the wallbang. Molly forces them back, and Na'Vi are just taking these duels, knowing they're heavily favored in doing so. Big trying to get out of the dodge. Run boost back up catwalk. Dennis gets tagged crossing through the mid doors. They're trying so hard to get up short, and they're actually getting kills behind it. Where did that come from? Zeus is dead on long. Edward's been picked up as well. Simple's had enough. Pistols out, and he's chasing for kills inside of the tunnels. But look at Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis has got B. He can get this bomb down. I mean, even though they're able to deal with Tizian, a bomb plant here, it is a very, very good outcome from this round for Big. Dennis allowed to get the bomb down and could still even look to do more damage here with this P250. These rotations now coming in. Na'Vi, they will be kicking themselves that they've allowed this bomb to go down. Dennis finds another. Simple will finally come in with that trade, but that still gets a lot closer than it feels like it ever should have done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where those two kills came out of nowhere. Zeus gets picked up on long. He had an SMG, so fair enough, but Edward just dies at the same time. I don't know where he was, but yeah, it almost goes wrong for Na'Vi. Those two kills open up enough space that the B players have to rotate towards mid to help out. In that time, Dennis finds a bit of a gap and gets a bomb plant. So Dennis actually picked up the kill on Edward into B. I assume he got aggressive in tunnels, but Dennis didn't have a gun to play with after he killed him. So very weird and confusing round, but Big get the money desired, and now we have the AWP on tabseN. tabseN v Simple. Solo B cross for Na'Vi. They go for the long control this round. It's going to be Edward making the first cross, or the big long corner smoke. They're getting out through it. Got B getting tagged down. Finished off is Edward. Lots of T's here, and they will decide to back off that Molotov sections off Tizian. Electronic can just pick him up. The rest of Big have yet to get through the doors. Electronic's nade could be good, but the spray is better. Zeus alongside him. This is a slaughter.
And it's not every day you see a round pan out like that. I mean, that was just an immediate meeting of the 5 players over on this side of Big versus 3 over at long for Na'Vi. And you can understand why Big just kept committing to that after they lost the first few players, right? You don't anticipate that triple man hold over at long. They're so focused on trying to trade with the one player they know is still up. They continue just running the gauntlet into that stack. Great utility usage from Na'Vi to section off those players, divide and conquer as the old saying goes. And Na'Vi do exactly that. Simple gonna shut down Dennis in this round. And so already Na'Vi sitting a man up. Zeus is even going to try his hand at some aggression over here towards Catwalk, and there are players on the other sides, and Tares running up on the wall there does leave him at a bit. I don't know if you say off angle, it's just not where you'd be aiming for the head, right? So Electronic over here at long, able to best tabseN. That Org thrown onto the back of Tizian here, and now he's the last man left. He's got to try and come up huge with this one scavenged weapon, and Simple holding his own. 3 for him. It seems like we've got the Simple we wanted to see back in the server.
Yeah.
I tell you what, like watching him yesterday, usually he is someone who looks very, very like confident. Usually he's pretty smiley, right? Unless things go wrong, and then Na'Vi maybe get a bit more yelly at one another, but that's kind of their style, right? Like it works for them. Yesterday, Simple did just look like a bit out of it, you know? Like he seemed a lot quieter than normal.
Without a doubt.
Today, though, it's all smiles, and you can see why he's having a great game.
Zeus got caught there on catwalk. He looked away right as the push came through. The reason being is one of his teammates threw a nade up from mid that crossed past him. Maybe he thought that was a flashbang, and he looks away to avoid it. And even though it gets damage to Big, he only gets 1 kill because he looks away, has to flick back, and then Big are able to trade that initial frag. So doesn't get out of control. Simple locks it down, and Zeus, he wants more. No team utility this time, although there's a player up close. Does he realize if he goes round this corner, Xantares will not be blind, and he will get away with a kill. Zeus not expecting the pace being set from Big. They are so fast up catwalk here. We've yet to see this. Edward gets aggressive inside of the tunnels, and this is locked Big up on short. Na'Vi know it. They've got tunnels contained, and Edward doesn't need to go too much further until they make the next contact up on the site. Electronic looks to do that as well. Na'Vi with no more utility to shut this one down. And Big with plenty for the execute. Edward's still watching this spawn ramp. What an off angle. No way! tabseN's ready for it, but he flicks and hits a shot. Going behind the pillar, or at least the telephone pole. The bomb dropped in top middle. This is getting scrappy now, but Big have got the upper hand.
Yeah, Na'Vi don't really know what is afoot here now in the map. It will be a 2-on-2. Electronic setting up down towards CT. He can try and listen for these rotations towards the B-bomb site, but Big looking like they might dedicate a couple of players over here towards catwalk, and they're going to start to aggress up, looking for something inside of this A-bomb site. Now, no one is keeping an eye on Cat for Na'Vi, so Big, they could actually get into the site, although just as I say it, Flamey now posting himself up. 15 seconds, Big, they've got to commit. They've just got to run the gauntlet, and Flamey is here. Missed shot initially, but Tizian left up alone. He has to get this bomb down, and Electronic's trying to jump shot him. Oh, he's doing damage. There you go. Na'Vi 7-1, and I tell you what, right, like yesterday, okay, having a loss yesterday if you're Na'Vi to North did seem like a pretty big upset when it happened.
Yeah.
But I think Simple is someone who the bad games are far rarer than the good games, right? Like you normally count on him to play well, and I think the rest of the squad played very well. Yes. So if we can see that, as you were saying, and now Simple keeping this form up, this is a very deadly Na'Vi. Everyone's taking gunfights. Everyone's looking confident.
Electronic's 12-1. He's not stopping, Harry. He's on the same grind that he was last night that put him, 30 bombs left and right. And yeah, just the usual suspects behind him. Bigger having a rough one. Oh, the dink through the smoke. That's going to be heard. Big know they've got a player caught in the car, but Zeus, look at the amount of teamwork from Na'Vi. So many flashbangs, all that util coming out. Lets him retreat, lets him back off. He doesn't want to get caught in that car position, get mollied out. Now, in the meantime, Big, who do have a player down in pit. tabseN can try and sell this fake while the rest of them walk into B. There's only one player on the defense, but Edward, he's been locking this down in the past. Managed to find multi-kills when Big have gone for this site. tabseN still caring for the position that Zeus was once in, but aware that he probably has backed off now. Edward can't afford to get caught in that reload. This is something that happened back yesterday on Dust. Dennis, timing play into middle. Will Electronic be caught in the rotate?
Oh, Simple. If he'd thrown that nade in, would have been big damage. Instead, he's going to finish off got B with the M4, making quick work of this attempted B play. Are Simple and Edward. And Na'Vi in 8th round. A very different Na'Vi to the one that we saw yesterday. I mean, really, it's just a very different Simple to the one that we saw yesterday. The Simple you wanted to see. Everyone else is keeping up their great performance. And definitely not what you wanted if you're a Big fan. No. Because, you were kind of hoping that Na'Vi come into today, maybe yesterday's loss really weighing heavy on their mind. Maybe still struggling, but that just doesn't seem to be the case.
Everyone loves to play Na'Vi as the opening game because, slow starts, Na'Vi, right? It does happen, but second game of the tournament, Harry, at least for this group stage, and Na'Vi, they are not waiting around. Neither are Big, though. Fast B play into this rifle. Edward is fully blind on the site. He's going to need some support, but the flashbang's good as Xantares still gets a kill while blinded. Edward going down, and Electronic with some chip damage, but it's not enough for the trade. Now Big are posted in on the window, but he waits for no one, goes aggressively, as does Flamey. The issue is Flamey gets a kill, but that Molotov forces Electronic back, so it's just a trade from Big, and they keep that man advantage. Now got B coming in on the flank. Simple seems aware. Oh, has he caught him? Yes. Electronic swoops in for the frag. Are Na'Vi going to consider this? Because they were starting to back off when they got that kill on Gold B, but now looking in towards the site once again.
Yeah, they certainly look tempted now, throwing that initial barrage utility in through mid, but they're going to set up for a triple tunnels play. Not the most conventional way to retake this bomb site by any means. tabseN is homed in on this position. If they're able to deal with him, then they definitely commit, I think, but it looks like they might just instead elect to try and take as many of these players down with the bomb as they can. Na'Vi looking to play the long game. They threw all that utility in from mid so that Big anticipate that these players are holding middle. That could not be further from the truth. And I love that from Na'Vi. Big, they might get a second round, but Na'Vi shut down everybody.
I mean, classic Na'Vi. It's how this game has been going. Just so dominant right now for the CIS squad. And Big, despite picking this map, are definitely having problems.
I just felt like that's not something that, you know, where I would have imagined that's like a Na'Vi strat to pull out. I really like that, right? They throw a barrage utility in through the window, don't commit. In the back of Big's mind, you know, they haven't gone looking into mid. They anticipate that utility means there's players there. And so when they try and exit safely through the tunnels, they get annihilated. This round, Electronic opens up with a double. Flamey's locking down mid. And Big, they've got no cash. This was their... They had to pick this round up if they wanted to keep on buying as a result of losing everyone at the end of that round previously. And now it's just got B left standing in what was a 1v5. Flamey's going to dispatch of him. Na'Vi up 9-2. And, I mean, you can just see how much they've set themselves up to keep building on this lead in the Na'Vi side of things.
Yeah, the question is, do Big ever get a response more than a couple of off rounds, right? The 2 rounds they've had have been separate, not concurrent rounds, as you said. You know, they need to win back-to-back if they want to build an economy. Otherwise, it is almost essentially a reset, right? No player surviving, so no money as a result. And this is a tactical pause for Big as they start to uncover the truth that is their economy. What do they do here? Pistols. Pretty weak on Dust2, especially on that T side. There's not a lot you can do with it. B rushes are your best bet, but I mean, this B site, it has been outstanding for Na'Vi. Like, whether, you know, by and large, considering how many times Big have actually gone there, whether it be in the pre or the post plants, Na'Vi have typically locked it down.
Yeah, I mean, the only round that they didn't, it was the round just a few rounds ago, and when we saw what happened, right? They set up in tunnels and shut everybody down. By the way, Electronic is 17-1. What is going on?
Oh my!
I mean, I was anticipating that Big maybe stood a bit of a chance here, you know, a chance at the upset, but this is a dangerously confident-looking Na'Vi. I haven't seen them look this kind of sure in some of the calls and some of the plays that they've been going for in a very long while.
This is what a 22% win rate on Dust2 looks like, Harry.
This is what a sports psychologist can do to your squad, apparently. Na'Vi making a great case for it. They've spoke about that in a few interviews now, how they've just recently picked up a... you know, an actual esports psychologist to help the team, help them kind of work together better.
I'd love to hear, like, because we asked Edward about that, you know, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear in a post-game interview, assuming Na'Vi win this game, an update on that, you know.
Yeah, like if they think it's helped, right?
Because it has been a few weeks, and Na'Vi
I remember when NIP had their guy, and he was always pretty keen on even appearing in interviews, like, for the actual organization. Would love to have maybe a similar thing with Na'Vi. I just think that's such an interesting side of esports that so many people are maybe unaware of. You know, is the mental side, because your mental state really does impact how well you play. We've all been there, you know, playing matchmaking. Oh, you've been playing for 15 hours straight. You know, you're on a string of losses. Only hackers against you, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's very, very hard to recover from that. So
Big must feel like those guys are matchmaking right now. They are just getting cheated on by Electronic. Yet to die. Well, he's got one, but I won't hold him to it. Flamey, he's close. He's in that smoke, and the bomb plant's going in. He's not going to be able to stop it, but he will hit the tag. Zeus finishes off the shot. And now Flamey looking for a little bit more. tabseN's on the corner. He will line him up with that AUG picked back up. Big have a bit of a chance here. That AUG has gone back down towards long, and it's a long plant. Dennis on the wraparound could solidify this round, but Zeus shutting him down. tabseN off angle, but doesn't matter to Simple. Double from him. AUG picked up. And Na'Vi, another round to their name. 10-2 here on the CT side. It's not looking like they're planning on slowing down, Harry. They're looking to speed up our schedule. Remember yesterday, we had that Na'Vi game, that Na'Vi best of 3 versus North, and every game went almost the full distance. We had, I think, 2 16-14s. No, sorry, 2 16-13s and a 16-14.
Yeah.
So all the rounds, all the maps, And Na'Vi, they don't have time for these close affairs anymore. 10-2 up, another buy round for Big. If they can win this, they can salvage a 10-5, but they're still going to have to break through the economy of Na'Vi. That is the most tricky factor here. And at any point, you lose around here and you're Big, boom, you're back to the drawing board, back to the pistols. And without the buffer to play with, they need these last 3 rounds, or at least a couple, if they want any chance to keep this game alive, at this map at least. And with Mirage on the horizon, it's definitely a worrying time right now for Big. Little boost up for Na'Vi. They throw Edward into the top side. Long control now given over to this CT side, but look at the setup right now. Looking like a potential mid to B play later in the round after they take some cat control. Big want to put pressure up here to at least keep Na'Vi with a heavy A setup, thinking this could be an A play, but I imagine this bomb will either late lurk back through lower tunnels or commit to catwalk. Still plenty of time for Big to make that decision, depending on where they find their opening kills. If they do, that bomb's going all the way around. Maybe the long split later. This is where Edward could come into play, because Godby's moving in close. Might not expect this off angle. The shadow gives away his spot, and Edward, he can just get a kill and fall off. No trade, even though Tapson was nearby.
Yeah, really not ready for so much aggression to come through from Edward. You know, just a few seconds behind, missing out on that trade, but those few seconds make all the difference here for Big. Trying to take control of mid. This is, you know, a much slower round than what we've seen throughout this game, and I don't think that's on the back of, you know, Big slowing it down. Instead, it's just Na'Vi not taking these fights, and that's what Big have been waiting all round for. Now they try and make this mid to be happen, but 10 seconds, this bomb has to get into the bomb site now. It's got to get planted, and all it's going to take is a couple of kills. There's no time. The round's over. It's done.
Tabs, he finds a nade kill, but it's a bit post-mortem. Simple's already taken him down, and yeah, I mean, Big going back towards long there. I don't know if they wanted to commit to that or if they're just trying to clear out that long position, but if they wanted to commit to it, it definitely makes me question why Godby and Tapson were so separated while going back to that position. Godby gets picked up. Tapson obviously doesn't want to trade 10 seconds later, because if he loses the bomb, that round's done. But back towards a mid to B, and as you said, great switch up from Na'Vi. They've gone for all these aggressive CT rounds where they're forcing fights into a far more passive approach, and that's when Big run out of time.
And also, just to point out, I know, you know, if you're watching at home, you're probably well aware, but just in case you didn't notice, Electronic has still only died once. He's 20-1.
20-1. What?
I don't know what's happened to this man. He must have just really needed some psychology.
What did he eat for breakfast? What cereal is Electronic's favorite? That's the question I want. Yeah. The answer I want.
I just want to, yeah, like, what's his routine?
Sense, crosshair, res. I need all of it. And, you know, this is not a weak Big by any means, and you know, just in general, Big's performance recently has been decent. They've been, you know, taking teams to close games, maybe not getting the wins that they aspire, or expect rather, but you know, this is uncharacteristically dominant. That being said, just shows the level of Na'Vi right now, and it's not done just yet. Big have the man advantage in this round, but not for long. Tizian gets picked up by Flamey. I mean, that's an untradeable kill. There's nothing Big can do about it. He gets a chance to back off with the orb, and Electronic furthers his KD to something even more ridiculous.
I don't want him to die anymore, because I just wanted to finish this game with like a 30 KD or something. So
would that be the best
ever? Can we just really keep up with Electronic here? Make sure he doesn't go down. Now, he actually might in this round. He's surrounded. Surely there's no way out of this. Surely not. And finally, Dennis is able to get rid of him. Now, Electronic does a stellar job of not only getting one, but almost getting that turnaround onto Dennis. The bomb will go down here for Big. Now, we've seen Na'Vi, last time they were in this kind of even-odd scenario, they focused instead on trying to wreck the money. They're not going to do that in this round. They're going to try and commit to this, and Tabson getting bested now leaves Dennis alone. He needs to get 4 kills in total if Big want to pick this round up. It will require a massive individual effort. And on the other end, Simple, a man who's used to putting them up time and time again, shuts down Dennis 12-2. And this is shaping up to potentially be the most one-sided map we've seen in the Pro League thus far.
That was a double peek as well into the 2-on-1 there for Na'Vi. It just seems like they're all on the same page. They're all working together. These little flashbangs that they're setting each other up with, and the double pushes. Everything just seems to be going right for Na'Vi. Stars aligning. And Stars performing. Electronic and Simple, 22-2, 17-6. Fantastic performance from these guys, and exactly what we wanted. Simple even opening up into this round. He's going to drop the man up on Catwalk. Zeus has picked up Tizian on Lon, and Simple, he almost doubles it, but Dennis gets away with 6 points of health. The latest addition to Big, keeping that package most importantly, and bringing it up towards the Catwalk. Now Xantares forced out by the Molotov, but he gets 1 and 2. Xantares, he's made this round a potential for Big. This wrap round from Edward does get caught by Dennis, but the spray not connecting, and almost a team shot there. 5 HP left to Edward, and the retake will be on.
Page.
At least it wasn't Flamey shooting Edward.
No, yeah, right. That would have been far worse. But yeah, this round, you know, Edward on 5 HP, a lot of this is going to fall onto the shoulders of Flamey. Now, Na'Vi, they won't be too upset with themselves if they let one more slip through their fingers.
Boo-hoo.
But they are going to try and give this a go. Obviously, last round of the first half, so they've got no bother going for it. Edward, 1v1, 5 HP in a dream, and it's got B on the other side, repositioning for short. The bomb isn't planted for him, so he's just going to try and take this fight. One shot is all that's required, and Big, they will salvage a third. That's the end of this first half, 12-3 in favor of Na'Vi. But do not go anywhere, because this Na'Vi frag movie can keep on rolling. There's been some insane plays, and there's going to be more of them. We'll be back with that second half after a break.
Dancing on my own when you spill that ramen coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette, that is first sight. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette, that is first sight. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you
Na'Vi sat 12-3 up at the half, and they might walk away, baby, with a win here on this first map.
Walk away, walk away, walk away, baby.
There we go. The phrase that we've all grown to know and love from the Pro League. And Na'Vi, they are using that as their personal motto right now, because they have been walking all over Big. who are currently sat 9 rounds behind on their map pick.
Big are spilling rum and coke all over their t-shirt, Harry. Frankly, it's a mess. Those odds are as well. Betway being as wonderful as always. Maybe not supporting their roster, but you know, I don't think you can really at this scoreline. 12-3, this is rough.
Well, yeah, because at that point it's like, do Betway want to lose a load of money? Where it's like, now the odds 1.01 to 9.
We believe. Well, I mean, it's still doable. They just need the pistol round to spur the momentum on, Harry. We know Na'Vi have had some rough T-sides in these last couple of days, but that is the start that Simple wanted and that Na'Vi needed. Opening kill towards that B site. There's still 2 players here for Big, and they're dueling. Xantares will win it, but look at Na'Vi. They've already bailed out of this one. tabseN's pushed top spawn. Electronic's going to go down, leaving long, but Edward is out in mid to get the trade. Lots of mid players and lots of mid kills for Xantares. 4 frags in that pistol round. One of the few players who can make the P2K look usable.
Not a P2K fan, Hugo?
No, not. Used to be. No, moved on. Learned the way of the silenced pistols.
I think I know why that might be.
Why?
Because it's trash. There's the the hot take.
That helps as
Big,
well.
Yeah, they managed to get the pistol. And you said, Hugo, that's the first step on a very, very long and perilous journey for Big to try and make this comeback happen. You know, you gotta walk before you can run. I almost said that the wrong way round.
You gotta walk away, walk away, baby.
Oh, that was kind of part crying, part laughter.
Just your humor in general, really.
If it doesn't make you feel an unquestionable amount of emotions at once, was it even comedy to begin with? You should feel a bit of rage and a bit of humor. And it should be relatable enough that you feel sad. But this round, I tell you who's going to be feeling sad. Dennis, he gets bested early on by that UMP. Edward able to pick him up. tabseN still floating around down here in mid. There's a lot of players on the other side. That nade that gets thrown in finds some good damage down in middle. Electronic going toe-to-toe with Tizian. Na'Vi still sat a man up, but tabseN, nice shot onto Electronic, has pulled this one back into even odds.
Oh, that 21-1 scoreline is far further gone, Harry. The KD has been ruined. And Na'Vi, they've got to look to the future. 45 seconds, pistol play up short. This timing could be perfect for Xantares. A flash is there, everyone is blind. They managed to get back inside of the cubby, but Zeus is just dead. Xantares not done. Godby will make sure he's done. Team kill up on Catwalk. It might not be a problem for Big, but that is a gun dropped over that Na'Vi can retrieve. Flamey's been killed. Simple's found the M4, but I mean, he's good, Harry. Is he this good? Maybe. He's found the opener. Ooh.
Oh, he's going to try and go back through Tizian on the other side. And
like a book.
So Big now in with another, and that was the force buy from Na'Vi. I'm curious what the call's going to be here, because Na'Vi, they've gone for a few kind of different styles in this game. They've really focused on trying to keep the economy of Big on the back foot. And, you know, with them finding so much success in that round, you know, I mean, the normal thing is just a flat eco, but yeah, as I was kind of, they've gone for the force. And
I don't blame them.
I'm going to be honest, yeah, I mean, this is one that, for the first time ever, you could kind of read into the fact that the odds are they were going to go with this sort of purchase.
Well, I mean, look at their CT side. They spent so many of those rounds just destroying the economy Big. Even in rounds that weren't winnable for Na'Vi, they made sure Big didn't get away with any money. So, you know, all Na'Vi need is damage, really. And they found that in that previous force buy. That means that, look at the reserves for Big. If Na'Vi win this round, it's probably game. But we need Electronic to have a huge performance, because Simple, he's already been picked up. That one hero AK still in play and out middle. There's the spot. Lots of damage. 1 HP on tabseN. They don't have a nade for it. He has a Molotov, but doesn't want to be caught with a nade in hand. He will just decide to back off, not finishing off that kill. Tizian's taken tunnel. Surprised we don't see this B rotate from Dennis, but I guess he doesn't want to get caught on the mid cross, considering now he could still back off into this mid to B. But now with more info from Tizian that's still clear later in the round, it looks pretty obvious that Na'Vi are going up Catwalk. Dennis is going to push through, and I imagine Tizian will swing if needed, but there's no one on the other side. They don't need to worry about it. Big, now aware this is going to be an A play. That nade, not too bad. Tags everyone up on short. 35 seconds, and Xantares, he just has to delay.
A lengthy wrap from Tizian as well is coming in all the way back through T-Spawn. So these players at the A side, as you say, they just got to buy a bit of time for the flanks to come through. tabseN with the flick down onto Zeus, and he's looking for even more. Edward and Flamey will actually deal with the players inside of the bomb site. This bomb can now look to go down. It's planted for short, but Dennis is here and he's arriving fast.
Oh, no.
Misses that spray, so he'll give up his position, but the Molotov forces these players in the site out into the open, and it's only Electronic left, but with both these players on short, now an M4 picked up.
He can wrap.
Surely not. Electronic into the 1v1. Tizian, here's the rotation, and he hops right on that bomb. Now he doesn't have a kit. Electronic has to be fast up through short. He's running in. It's going to come down to the wire. Tizian still on the defuse. Electronic missing the spray. And Big, they get that 6th round by the skin of their teeth. Tizian with balls of steel to stick the defuse, but it does prevail.
The question is, Harry, do Na'Vi force?
Yes.
4 kills in the bomb part?
Yes, 100%. M4 dropped over by Electronic. He can buy an AK.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
The rest of them can invest. You know, they've got that loss bonus built up, the $800 for the bomb plant. Only one man surviving. Yeah, they've gone for the buy, and it is a good one at that.
Yeah, that's not a force. That's a full buy right there. Na'Vi, they're going to go fast out long this time. Godby's got the nade, and it is good, but Electronic is better. Spray with the flashbang from Simple takes down the in-game leader a big. Man advantage here for Na'Vi. And long control afforded. They can get a player down into pit while that smoke is still up. Big again going for this tunnels play. They did it in the previous round. It gave them a lot of information, and it might do so again. Ahead of the smoke. Flamey, he's not ready for it. 2 players and 1 kill for Big. The equalization. They don't want to commit any further. They don't know where Na'Vi are. With the exception of spotting the early long control, they've not seen anyone else. And of course the B kill, but still aware that Na'Vi could be outside of the B site right now. That's not the case. Tizian's peering through eagerly so. Na'Vi, Xbox smoke going down. They can try and split Catwalk considering they've already got Edward out on long. In the meantime, Big are trying to retake this position and they've got the boost up already. Edward's head spotted on the top side. He'll drop and he'll drop Zantares with him. Almost Tabson going down as well. 22 HP, but Na'Vi have his number.
And now as he turns back to short, Simple's going to pluck him from this round. But Tizian and Dennis, there's no money left in the big camp. So, I mean, at this point, you kind of are forced into a save. And that is just as a result of how relentless Na'Vi have been with these force buys in these rounds, getting every single one of them so close. And, I mean, you know, you're double eco anyway if you're Big.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do here with this? But that's the worst. If you get away with 3 rifles, fine, you buy up. But if you get away with 2, it's so tempting to buy around that, but it's going to be trash. The buy's going to be bad, Harry. That being said, you don't want to double eco.
No, right, exactly. So your options at this point are, you know...
Buy or lose. And even if you do buy, you might still lose.
There's no guarantee of it, yeah.
A rough spot to be in if you are Big. You know, at one point I had it in the back of my head that, you know, maybe they can pull things back. We think back to yesterday, Harry. I mean, Na'Vi had some 11-4 halves that they still lost. So their CT side was unreal, as it always is, but their T side left a lot to be desired. This one, so far, is looking good. They've only won 1 round this half, but they've brought 3 of them very close. I guess with the exception of that pistol round, actually. But either way, the rifle rounds that Na'Vi have shown have you know, whittled away at the economy of Big. This buy coming through as expected. 2 SMGs and a scout. No kits, barely any util. You're hoping for these orcs to drag you through this one, and they are both on B here for Big. That's a great start. Tizian drops Flamey through the smoke. Tabson reaggressing up on Catwalk. He might decide to back off now that Big have this man advantage. Electronic might also walk into it. Flash is there, Tabson avoids it, goes back in. And Electronic had his nade out, wasn't expecting the repeat there. 27 HP. Tabson, he's got another angle and another opportunity at a tag, or if it's Electronic, maybe the kill. Molotov landing, that will force him off. Zeus is going to try and play ahead of the mollies. Antares spots him on the site. Edward gets the kill out long. Huge round and huge game from him so far. He is not stopping. Still up onto the site. He takes down Antares. 20+ kills for Edward right now. I think we have him, Electronic and Simple, all performing lights out. Bigger in a rough spot.
Tabson has to offer up some heroics with this scout, and he's able to get away with so much damage, but no kills coming through. And Na'Vi, they've got Big's name, number, address, mother's maiden name, first pet's name, you name it, they've got it. And they're now up 14-6, just 2 away from taking this map, Hugo.
Their favourite teacher at school, their first car.
The name of the street that Godby grew up on. They've got all of it.
Oh, dear. It's an identity crisis, or identity fraud, more like. Na'Vi up against the full eco from Big. This is rough, to say the least. They're going to have to give up 15 when they're only on 6 rounds and play for that overtime. Na'Vi, just slow it down. Big triple short push, and well, they seem somewhat aware of it. Electron throws a Molotov. That will push these players even further forward, but Zeus was not ready. Flash into middle, and they'll catch him. Simple. Oh dear, he gets 2, but the trade is still there. This is great for Big. It won't be around, surely not, but hey, they'll take a couple of kills with these USPs. It was a $0 investment, so really anything you get is good. But at the realistic scoreline of 15-6 down, it doesn't really matter. These kills will be inconsequential. Dennis, if he could save a gun, that'd be great. But he might just opt to have a look into this site. Na'Vi moving in towards B with 3. And they're already on mid, so Dennis, no element of surprise here.
So map point for Na'Vi. Big, they do have a final buy left in the tank to try and keep the dream burning. But right now, it's just been a lights-out performance from Na'Vi, really unmatched. This is a scary-looking Na'Vi, right? This isn't one that we've really seen in the Pro League thus far.
And you're right, Harry. The dream is burning for Big. It's burning down, at least in this one. And this is kind of, you know, very upsetting as well, right? Like, this is their map pick. This is a best-of-3 that would send them, if they lose it, down 0 and 2 in this group, meaning it's, you know, pretty much impossible for them to qualify.
It ends up being entirely in your hand. No, sorry, it almost gets removed. Like, your own fate gets removed from your hands, right? At that point, you're relying on other teams messing up and you still playing well, right? Because if they lose tomorrow and they go 0-3, then yeah, they're done. If they go 1-2, then there's still a chance. Sure. But, you know, you have to rely on you winning that game and then also the other games panning out in your favor.
All the extras like round difference, map difference, head-to-head. And right now, hey, we're looking at round difference. It's not great right now. Luckily, that isn't the main deciding factor. Head-to-head, I think, is the first place. So we'll keep it in mind. Tizian gets aggressive. Electronic catches it. Big have been doing that all half long. It's had pretty good success, but this time not so much. 4-on-2. Big. They rotate heavily towards B. They're getting flanked by Edward in the meantime. Simple hasn't dropped the auto snipe, but he's still running that from the T-spawn spam at the start of the round. Got B. Ooh, nice little angle above the barrels. The smoke covers his position. He might be able to get a kill from it, but Edwards killed his teammate. Got B alone. 1-on-3 inside of the site, and he gets a double, but it's not meant to be. Na'Vi take the victory here on Dust. Big's map pick, and they only get 6 rounds.